Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizzano, and this is another episode of the world famous, the University Love, the best podcast in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. But, ladies and gentlemen, we just call this show Online Marketing Moves. And we are coming to you live today. Today is Tuesday. It is late Tuesday night. Time of this recording. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to talk about marketing. We are going to talk about backlash. We are going to talk about judging people. We're going to tie this all up into the marketing aspect of it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this weekend, the NBA had an all-star game. They had it in Salt Lake City, Utah. I don't know if you're familiar with the NBA, but the NBA in Salt Lake City, there are only two names you think about when it comes to basketball and the Utah Jazz. The two greatest basketball players, one is John Stockton, the other one is the great Karl Malone. And this weekend, they had the All-Star game there. So, of course, the NBA, they had to bring out John Stockton and Karl Malone. And then somebody brought up something about Karl Malone that happened 40 years ago. I believe 40 years ago, Karl Malone, he had a baby with a 13-year-old girl. He was 20 at the time, I believe, 21, something like that. Now, of course, we all know, ladies and gentlemen, that is wrong. There's two left shoes, okay? But Karl Malone's from a small town in Louisiana. I don't know if you know anything about Louisiana, or if you don't know anything about growing up in a small town. In a small town, there are a lot more shenanigans when it comes to that kind of stuff. You know, Karl Malone was a basketball player. He was a college player, whatever. Somebody probably said, hey, man, that guy, he's going places, so you can date him if you want or whatever happened. But, of course, you know, Karl Malone, he did it. He had a baby with a woman that was 13. He didn't claim the baby for a long time. Finally came out one day down the road later years in his life that he had a baby with a 13-year-old. You know, Karl Malone had 2 or 3 kids, you know, that he didn't try to claim. And so, of course, you know, nowadays with Twitter and all that stuff, somebody tried to bring that up. Somebody brought that up on the HBO show. They was like, hey, why are we honoring Karl Malone? But, you know, the thing is, the All-Star game was in Utah. You cannot market an All-Star game in Utah without you having Karl Malone be there. It would just be weird. It would be strange. So, of course, Twitter is the place where all the perfect people go and judge other people. And so, you know, the NBA, they marketed, you know, the All-Star game. Hey, we're going to have Karl Malone. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. And then there was backlash. There was an outcry. And Karl Malone, you know, they asked him a couple questions. He said, hey, that was a long time ago. I'm not talking about it. I don't want to talk about it, which is a response, you know. He didn't apologize because, you know, what's done is done. Was he dead wrong? Of course he was dead wrong. But the thing about the situation is, bringing up something 40 years ago is not going to help. You know, these kids are like 40 something years old. Karl Malone is almost 60 now. It's done. It's in the past. It does not help. But the problem with now, and you'll run into this when you start running a business, if you have an opinion and you're on Twitter or you send out emails and you have a difference of opinion, and the reason why they're raking Karl Malone over the coals, unfortunately, is Karl Malone is a black man who likes to hunt, he likes to fish, he votes Republican. So in the United States of America, you are more raked over the coals if you're black, a man, straight, and you don't say, hey, I'm a loyal subject of the Democratic Party. So the woke mob is going to come after Karl Malone more than they would somebody else. It's just the way it is. So if you have a message that you want to spread, if you have a message that you want to get out, whether it be email, whether it be through social media, whatever, if you have a difference of opinion, then you have to learn how to be prepared for things that are going to happen to you. People are going to want to get you canceled. People are going to get you your business, thrown off of Twitter, thrown off social media. So this is why you should make sure you build an email list. Make sure you are saving your email list, going through your email list, checking it twice, finding out who's naughty and who's nice. You should never rely on one platform on social media to get your business off the ground. If you're going to be on Facebook, be on Instagram, be on Twitter, you never know which one of these companies is going to kick you off. You never know who's going to not like you and say, hey, it's time to get this guy kicked out of this platform. The way they was trying to kick Karl Malone out of the All-Star Game festivities, which is a joke because there's a lot of shady athletes that probably had babies out of wedlock, had babies with young girls. I'm sure it happened more than once, but Karl Malone, he just happens to be a black man that I believe supports the Republican Party, so he's gonna get conked over the head. But if you have a difference of opinion, if you have if you don't go along with the woke mob, if you don't go along with if you go against the grain, then you have to make sure you are prepared to get canceled, to get your your Instagram deleted, your Facebook deleted, anything deleted. So you should always keep your email list handy. You should always, if you have an app, make sure your people are into the app. Make sure that you have more than one way to get a hold of your customers, to get a hold of your fan base. Make sure you have more than one way for people to see your material, to see the items that you have. Make sure you have a website. Make sure you have an email list, because people these days, more and more people are getting canceled. It does not matter who you are. It does not matter what you do. You can be part of the woke mob. You can be a part of, you can be wokety woke all you want, but eventually they will cancel you, get rid of you. I remember it was a lady, she used to host basketball shows on ESPN. Her name was Rachel Nichols. And, she used to talk about, Black Lives Matter and, we need to do this, we need to do that. But then they heard Miss Nichols on the phone. They heard her talking about, she didn't want another woman, a black woman, to take her position. And unfortunately for Rachel Nichols, she is a white woman, and they said, hey, you are canceled. Now, Rachel Nichols, she needed an email list. If she would have had an email list, she would have had other ways for people to contact her. She could have said, hey, I'm not going to be ESPN anymore because they're giving me the boot, but follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, get a YouTube channel or whatever. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you do. You always want to make sure that you have a backup plan to the backup plan, because these days, getting canceled, getting talked down to, having to go through all that is, problematic. Karl Malone is a retired fella. I'm sure he doesn't have an email list. He's rich through basketball, so he's not worried about getting canceled. He's not worried about what you think about him. So Karl Malone is going to be just fine. But for the rest of us, if you have an opinion, which you should, because nobody wants lukewarm, as we talked about before, even Jesus spit out lukewarm people. So you hot or you cold on the topic, You want to propel people to you or repel people away from you, One or the other. You don't want people to be on the fence about you. You want people to say, hey, I love this guy, or I can't stand this guy. Either way, it does not matter. You want to have a strong opinion. You have a business to run. We are not here to, pussyfoot around. We are here to be serious. We are here to get customers. You are here to get, eyeballs on you. The thing is, you want as many eyeballs on your product. You want as many eyeballs on your service as possible. The more eyeballs you get, the more service you can create, the more money you can make, and the more things you'll be able to do for yourself and your family. You want to have an opinion. You must have an opinion. You cannot be on the fence. The guy who talked about Karl Malone on the HBO show, he has an opinion. He spouted off his opinion. The Twitter mob got a hold of it. They wanted to cancel Karl Malone. And Karl Malone, he's not worried about that. He's going to keep on pushing. But the guy had an opinion, and that's what you need to get on HBO. That's what you need to have a TV show. That's what you need to have a YouTube channel. You must have an opinion. You must, you can't, even if your opinion is wrong as two left shoes, if you say, hey, the sky is green. If you believe the sky is green, then so be it. The sky is green. You might be wrong, but you have to have an opinion. You cannot be nervous. You cannot be scared of the Twitter mob. You cannot be scared of the social media mob. A lot of times, if I was you, I would not be on social media. I would create my content, post it, but I would not spend a lot of time on social media. But you can do what you want. It's just my opinion. Social media is dumb. It's a waste of time. It kills your brain cells. If you spend all day long on TikTok, then you're a TikTok dummy. You will be a TikTok dummy. You do not want to be a TikTok dummy. You do not want to spend all your time on Facebook. Facebook is just a place for people to go pound their chest and say, hey, I'm making $1 million, but you see them all day long on Facebook. You do not want to be a part of that. You want to create content. You want to upload your content. You want to start a business, create a business, be viable, be out front, be a leader, get speaking engagements, work your way up, get to the top. And because once you get to the top, there's rarefied air, and there's not many people at the top, but you will be there because you have an opinion. Does not matter. Was Karl Malone wrong? Of course he was, but that was 40 years ago. Who cares at this point? He's a basketball player. He's not a god, and that's another problem with people. You get too caught up with the ideology of people. Karl Malone was a basketball player. Was he great? Of course he was a great basketball player. Is he a great human? Who knows? I don't know Karl Malone from a can of paint. You don't know Karl Malone from a can of paint. You don't know any people, most of these famous people, from a can of paint. And so be it. So instead of worrying about what somebody else is doing, let's all move forward. Let's all have an opinion, but let's all move forward and do what you got to do. Do it what is necessary. Have an opinion. If you're going to create content, have a strong opinion. Don't straddle the fence. Don't flip flop too much, and just go for it, and you'll be okay. All right. And watch out for the Twitter mob, because they're going to come after you. They're even coming after Don Lemon. Don Lemon is a gay man who's on CNN, and he had a show at night. And before Trump got in office, Don Lemon was like, hey guys, don't do this, don't do that. And then when Trump got in office, he became a part of the woke mob, and he was like, hey, Donald Trump's he's bad for the country, which that's an opinion. But then he started getting more likes, he started getting more followers, and he rode with it. And now he said something dumb last week about women being aging out, women being past the primes after 40. And now they were trying to get rid of Don Lemon on CNN, and he's been a part of the woke mob. He was screaming Black Lives Matter along with a lot of other people, and now they're gonna get rid of Don Lemon. So it does not pay to be part of the woke mob. I'm just gonna tell you that. It pays to have your own opinion, your own thoughts. Think for yourself, and the more you think for yourself, the more money you can create, the more money you can make. All right. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Thank you for listening. We'll be back tomorrow with all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, my name is Tony Zano. Thank you for listening. God bless. And as always, everybody, peace.